Today we're in the beautiful seaside town of Blackpool. We'll be spending the day at one of the nation's most beloved amusement parks, the Pleasure Beach Resort, and we've spent the evening already in the beautiful Boulevard Hotel. Now that is a hell of a way to be woken up in the morning. Just the roar of the big one as it goes past your window, and we've got an absolute prime spot for it as well in this room. And then it was off into the park for opening day. Something I would always suggest doing as well is coming to Avalanche for the first ride of the day. It's one of those rides that as soon as it gets a queue, it's awful to try and get rid of that queue. So if you're in early, head straight to Avalanche, get on it, get it out of the way, and the rest of the stuff should be a breeze. And after just a short 10-minute queue, we then headed down to the Blackpool Classic Ghost Train. And then on the way to the back of the park, it seemed only sensible to stop by Wallace and Gromit. So I feel like I'm cheating on Loki's a little bit because we've actually come down to Burger King to try it out there. And just because it's on the outside of Red Arrow's Skyforce, to see what's going on down here, because it's one of the many rides this year that are closed. Now, they have just said it's closed for 2025. They haven't said that it is being removed, but kind of got that feeling that that's where it's going. It is going to be removed. And it's a good time to discuss a little bit of speculation. I know a lot of people don't like to speculate, but when you've got this being removed and you've got the other rides being removed, and if I can, there goes the coaster. If I can, I'll show it on a map for you, because it's a very specific, like, straight line, or curved line, sorry, all the way up to Grand Prix, which has already been removed. Now, to me, that indicates the likelihood that they're clearing space ready for a coaster. But one of the other things that I have heard, and this is just pure speculation, is that it was rumoured that Avalanche was going to, it's nearing the end of its shelf life, it was going to be removed last year. Now that's obviously not the case, it's up and running now. But what if they're clearing these rides out so they have good access to then clear Avalanche out as well? And that would allow a hell of a lot of space with the Grand Prix, Avalanche area, and all of the rides that they're removing for one big investment. And I've got 3 letters for you, which it could be RMC. I think as much as I talk about there being a possibility of a new coaster coming here, all the way down through the rides that are being removed at the minute, I do question, if you are going to do groundwork for a new coaster, would you not have removed all of the fountain and the trees at the same time as you removed the actual ride itself? Or are they going to be a centrepiece to some sort of turnaround of a coaster? Who knows? Another ride undergoing lots of maintenance this year is River Caves, and I really do hope to see some vast improvements to this going forward into the future. Next up, we jumped onto the Pleasure Beach Express to take in a unique perspective of the park, and we'd highly recommend jumping on this ride if you want to see some fantastic ride interaction. Then it was time to head on down to Loki's, just on the outside of Valhalla, for a quick pint. Whilst we're here, let's talk about Ice Blast, or as it's now known, Launchpad. Now, the first thing to say is I am very excited that it's coming back. It's a ride that's been down for what feels like so long. Coming back, it's going to increase capacity in the park, it's going to be more forceful than ever, and it's going to just boost the atmosphere in this area around Valhalla and Loki's. It's going to be great having the ride back. My only concern is why in God's green earth did they decide to go with a space theme? it's not even space themed, it's big one themed. It looks genuinely like they've taken the leftover paint from the big one and used it to paint here, and it's got the exact same thing on the roof of it as it had before up on the top. I genuinely don't think there's going to be a lot of theming, which is going to be disappointing. Bear in mind this is an amusement park and not a theme park, so they can get away with it a little bit, but I don't think there's going to be much more added around this area other than maybe a nice sign down the bottom and maybe some sort of theming dotted around the bottom too. I'll just never understand why they didn't go with a theme similar to Loki's or to Valhalla. Do some sort of ascent to Valhalla or Thor's hammer. Just tie it in with that theme. I know it's not a theme park, but it would just fit so well. I mean, it's not just the visuals of it that are striking from one area to the next, but I believe it's going to have its own soundtrack as well. Now that soundtrack playing straight alongside the Valhalla soundtrack, it just feels too jarring to me.
It was then time for a final ride on flying machines to top off what was a pretty relaxed and perfect day at the park.
See, you might think Efteling are the only ones that have ever had the bins that suck your rubbish in, but Pleasure Beach actually had one many moons ago as well. So this is Leo the Lion, which used to be positioned in the park with a few others, and he used to suck. He used to have a motor in there with a fan, and he used to suck in the rubbish as well. Right, well that is it for day one of Pleasure Beach opening. We're here all weekend, so we're going to come back again tomorrow. But what an absolutely fantastic day it's been today. First of all, the weather, not Blackpool's fault whenever the weather is bad, but compared to last year, the weather today was astonishing. It's been sunny all day, it's been bright and it's been lovely. The operations in there today were pretty fantastic. They've not been, you know, perfect, but when you compare against last year when almost everything was down or evacuated or just not open, everything essentially was open today apart from the rides that they told you already weren't going to be open. Yes, they were a little bit slower at times because most of them were running one train, but Icon was smashing rides out, and the rest of them, there really wasn't any downtime. I think Revolution might have gone down for a very short amount of time, but essentially they managed to keep things up all day and everything ran smoothly. I never saw wait times go over an hour, and even when the wait time said an hour or half an hour, it were usually substantially shorter, so it's been a really good day on park. We've bumped into a ton of absolutely fantastic people, and I've thoroughly enjoyed meeting every single one of them. It's been a hugely drama-free day where everyone's just had a really good time. We've not particularly been on much today. We've just wandered around the park, we've soaked it in, we've thought about what the future holds for Pleasure Beach, and it's been really enjoyable. But if you've liked the video today, then please by all means smash the like button for us, and if you want to see tomorrow's vlog as well as many other vlogs that we do throughout the season, then please smash the subscribe button as well. It would be very much appreciated. And with that being said, we'll catch you tomorrow.